Max Verstappen did not lift the championship trophy. The most coveted title of the 2025 season slipped through his fingers, ending a reign that many thought would last forever. Even so, he was elected the most complete driver on the grid by those who truly understand the business, the team principles of the Formula One elite. It seems like a contradiction at first. It might even feel wrong. How can the man who lost the title be considered better than the man who won it? However, when you truly understand what happened behind the scenes of the Austrian stable this year, and when you discover what Laurent Mekies revealed about working with the Dutchman, everything begins to make extraordinary sense, because in the words of the Red Bull commander, Verstappen doesn't just drive, he personifies motorsport in its most genuine essence. This is an impactful statement loaded with gravity. What exactly makes Max so special compared to his rivals? And is it possible that even without the championship trophy, 2025 marked the absolute peak of his career? The season concluded with Lando Norris hoisting the world title. McLaren dominated for a vast portion of the year, and the Briton ruthlessly exploited the superiority of his machine to claim his first crown. Max Verstappen ended the year in second place, just ahead of Oscar Piastri. To many, this result represented a defeat for the four-time champion, but do the numbers tell the whole story? Anyone who followed every single lap, every qualifying session, and every wheel battle realizes that Verstappen's 2025 season was much more complex than a simple runner-up finish suggests. In a survey conducted under absolute secrecy among the directors of the 10 teams on the grid, Max was pointed out as the standout driver of the year. The competitor who did not win the title was considered superior to the other 19 drivers, including the champion himself. This is a recognition that goes far beyond statistics. It is the verdict of those who live the sport from the inside, who see the telemetry and who understand what it takes to perform when the equipment isn't perfect. Among all the tributes Verstappen received, none carried as much weight as that of Laurent Mekies, who took the helm of Red Bull in July. Mekies worked alongside Verstappen throughout the entire second half of the championship, and what he witnessed left the Frenchman in awe. In an emotional interview during the Car Grand Prix, Mekies described what it's like to have Max in the team. He said the precision of Verstappen's technical feedback has no comparison in the modern era. The sensitivity he demonstrates with the car operates on a completely different level. The team even jokes behind the scenes that Max acts as the best sensor installed on the vehicle, and quite possibly the most precious and expensive one as well. But the issue goes beyond technical ability. What truly differentiates Verstappen is a total, almost terrifying dedication to motorsport. The Dutchman spends his entire day immersed in racing more than any other person in the paddock. We are entering truly interesting territory here. Verstappen is not part of that group of drivers who finish a race and immediately head off to relax on a sophisticated yacht or disappear into a high society event. For him, the entire universe orbits around the act of racing. Between one Grand Prix and another, while most of his competitors are resting, Max is in his simulator. He is participating in virtual endurance races, experimenting with radical configurations, and sharpening his reflexes against the best in the digital world. And when a free weekend appears, he doesn't stop. He goes to compete in a GT category somewhere in Europe. This year, he expanded his participation in grand touring events, appearing at long-duration races just for the love of the grind. While some critics questioned if this distraction could hurt his F1 performance, Verstappen proved exactly the opposite. Mekies described this attitude as something absolutely impressive. We are talking about a driver who competes at the highest level of world motorsport, who faces the crushing pressure of being a four-time champion, and who still finds time to race in other categories, not as a hobby, but as a fundamental part of his evolution. As Mekies explained, Max always has a specific goal when he performs these activities. He is always reflecting on something he can learn, some tiny detail of tire management or track positioning that he can improve for the following F1 race. It is an obsessive mentality in the best possible sense, and the results on track confirm it. When the Red Bull car finally found a shred of balance in the second half of the championship, Verstappen responded with a string of clinical victories. He placed intense pressure on the McLaren drivers during the deciding rounds, making Norris and Piastri sweat blood to protect their positions. Even while driving an inferior car for most of the year, Max extracted the absolute maximum in every qualifying session, every start, and every daring overtake. Helmut Marko, who left Red Bull after this season, also spoke out, and his evaluation is surprising. He considers 2025 to be even better than 2023, the year Verstappen dominated with 19 wins. The explanation is simple. In 2023, the car had a massive technical advantage. This year, Red Bull was often not in a position to win. Max had to fight much harder for every single podium, and he did so with an impressive, almost chilling tranquility, especially in qualifying on demanding circuits with tires that were notoriously difficult to bring into the ideal temperature window. Verstappen and always delivered. No errors, no fumbles, no excuses. This analysis leads us to an important reflection. Is the best driver always the one who takes the championship, or are there seasons where individual excellence simply transcends the final result? In 2025, Max Verstappen did not have the best car. He faced unprecedented instability within Red Bull, including major leadership changes and the departure of key figures. Yet, he maintained a level of performance that forced the greatest experts in the world to acknowledge that he remains the benchmark. The phrase from Mekies echoes with strength: Max is motorsport. He isn't just a pilot who runs a race. He is someone who breathes, lives, and exists solely for the sport. And now the big question for 2026 looms. With the new regulations arriving with a technical revolution that promises to completely redraw the order of the grid, how will Verstappen stop and respond? Will Red Bull be able to adapt to the new power unit era? And if they can't, will we see Max look for new paths to maintain his pursuit of perfection? These are questions that will dominate the preseason. But one thing seems crystal clear. Regardless of the car he drives, Verstappen will give everything that is humanly possible, because for him there is no halfway point. Mekies' declaration wasn't just a common compliment. It was the recognition of something rare in the history of sports. A dedication that borders on the irrational, a passion that consumes everything around it, and a search for perfection that knows no limits. Now, I want to hear from you. Do you agree that Verstappen was the best driver on the grid this year, even without the title? Do you believe his 2025 campaign was superior to his record-breaking 2023 season? Leave your opinion in the comments below. If you enjoyed this analysis, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notifications. The 2025 season has ended, but the stories of the Formula One elite never stop. We'll see you in the next video.